message for the ladies and gentlemen around the world and all the ships at sea.
We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.
So choose wisely. Subscribe to It's Erik Nagel wherever shows are found, on whatever platform you choose. And as always, leave us a positive review. Would you kindly?
But it's fireside chat, not surrounded by fire chat.
Could be his portal from hell.
From heck.
Yeah, it's the offshoot from hell. It's not as torturous, it's just more annoying.
Ugh.
It's like you're in there and there's always sounds like there's a fly or a mosquito in your ear, but it's never there. You just constantly are hearing it.
Like the devil still hits you with a pitchfork, but this time it goes herp, herp, every time. It makes like a honk sound.
Not a pitchfork, a pitch spork.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's super round. So it doesn't really poke you. Just kind of scoops your butt.
Just tiny little sharp nubs at the end that maybe scratch the surface of the skin.
Ugh, that'd be horrible.
Do you enjoy cutting? Spork, spork.
Ugh, I don't want to go to heck. I'd rather go to hell.
Yeah, hell, at least you know what you're in for, and it's just going to be the worst possible scenario. So you know there's no alterations.
Yeah, until you get used to it, and then you'll be like, all right, this is just like last week. It's like any job.
Heck just constantly finds new ways to change it up to make it difficult on you.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, heck sounds terrible.
Like heck keeps shrinking your clothes, so it makes you think that you're gaining weight, but that you're really not gaining weight. They just purposely shrink your clothes.
Heck is a horrible place. I don't want to go there. I'd rather go to hell and just be tortured instead of being convinced I'm fat.
Right.
By shrinking my clothes.
Heck cuts your free online in your car, so you go to turn on the air conditioner, and it never gets cold. It's just always blasting hot air. So you either have to deal with the hot air from your air conditioning in your car or the hot air from outside. Because it's not the heat from the fires of hell. It's the humidity of heck.
Heck is one of those places where you use the plunger on your first time and it balls out like that. And then you can't get it to work.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it. This place sucks.
The humidity in heck is like you just had a massive rainstorm in Florida, and yet every business and every lawn has their sprinklers on at the same exact time right after the storm. It's just nonstop humidity heat.
Ugh, the streets are just steaming.
Yep.
Heck's a terrible place.
It is a terrible place.
Then we have ketchup on the hot dogs. Can't get mustard anywhere.
That's what it is. Whatever condiment you prefer, it's the exact opposite, like a Roy G. Biv situation.
It's torture through slight inconvenience. That's what heck is.
Yeah. It's like, oh, good mustard. Oh, no, it's yellow mustard. Or if you like yellow mustard, oh, no, it's Dijon.
You go to a store and you're like, can I get a change for $1? And they just give you a mix of pennies and nickels. And you're like, God damn it, you piece of shit.
Every day they promise the McRib is coming back, and you get there and it says coming soon, but it never shows.
All they have is New Coke all the time.
Well, that is a thing now. New Coke is back. Are we in heck now?
Are we in heck?
Oh, no.
Welcome to heck.
It's Erik Nagel, and it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
It's Erik Nagel.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of It's Erik Nagel, and that is me. Over in the Upside Down is my buddy Gittles.
What up, buddy?
The phone lines are open, 651-SMITHERS, that's 651-764-8437 if you want to call and be a part of the program. Follow us across the board on social media platforms at It's Erik Nagel. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Dude, I don't know what's going on with that YouTube channel. Everybody's been very nice and generous. They subscribed. We're over that threshold. But this whole time spent watching in the last 12 months kind of thing, we set up a playlist called All on the channel where it plays everything that's on the channel. So if you just set it up on your work computer and you go home for the weekend, you come back, most of it has been played. So it does help us, right? But I went to look at the hours, and I'm still just shy of 3,000, and you need 4,000. I said, I don't get what we're doing wrong. Not everybody, but I've had a majority of people saying that they've been playing this playlist. I've been playing this playlist on various computers in different spots, and I was like, we have to have been past that threshold because it looks so. It's not that hard to achieve it, but for some reason, it's not counting, and I don't understand why.
Have you called YouTube and asked them?
They don't have any kind of service to help you unless you're reporting copyright infringement or something illegal.
So you can't just call them and be like, yo, I know I'm getting more hours than this. What's up on my hour counter? Be like, hold on, we'll put you through to an hour counter person. Do they do that?
Well, No. I haven't looked to see if there's a phone number to call. Perhaps
you should call YouTube.
But knowing them, I'll call, get the different menus, go through a whole bunch of different menus, finally speak to somebody, and they put me on hold. And while I'm waiting on hold, they delete the account, and then it just hangs up, and they don't explain. So then I look at my account, and all of a sudden, it's gone.
No, what'll happen is you'll connect to a person, and while you're talking to them halfway through, an ad will just start playing, and you'll be disconnected from the person, and then you'll come back to them in the middle of the sentence you interrupted them at, the commercial interrupted you at, rather. Be like, God damn it, YouTube.
Oh, no.
They're the worst.
They are the worst.
But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get those hours. We'll get there.
If anybody knows what we're doing wrong, or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. What'd you say?
I said I'll just let it run on the computers.
If anybody knows what we're doing wrong or a better solution just to get it over the 4,000 hour count, that would be greatly appreciated. I haven't had much time to focus on all that with everything else that's been going on. Lots to talk about this weekend. New projects in the works and other things have been happening. It's been a busy week. Let's get into that. Gittles, how have you been? How was your Memorial Day weekend last weekend?
It was really nice. I have some friends who have a house out on Long Island right near the beach, like 2 blocks from the beach. So I went out there and just hung out there from Saturday till Monday and just went to the beach and chilled and walked around.
How great is it to live at a place that the beach is right there?
I mean, it's no joke. It's 2 blocks. Like you hear the ocean from the porch. Like you just sit out there at night, drinking, and you're like, oh, that's the ocean. You hear it. So you walk down there. There's a boardwalk. It's really nice.
I mean, just the convenience where you get up in the morning and like you just throw a t-shirt on and your bathing suit and flip flops or whatever, and you just walk out and you go, I'm right near the beach. Like life can't get much better because you're right next to the beach.
Yeah, and you get they have resident passes for the beach. They can just get right on the beach. Right. If you're not a non-resident, it's $15 a person to get on the beach. But if you're a resident, you just get your pass and you just go on there. So we actually went to the beach on Monday, and we walked the boardwalk and did that on the other days. But on Monday was the better day to go because none of the tourists were there. Everyone was out, so it was the beaches were empty. There was just the locals there, and it was really nice.
Well, in that area of Long Island, right, the beaches, Jones Beach, Long Beach, any of those areas where a lot of the boat activity is heavy, they had the air shows that they do every Memorial Day weekend. And I was supposed to go out there. We had family stuff going on. I couldn't make it out there, but Keith, who I work with, has a huge boat, and he took everybody out there. He does it every Memorial Day weekend. They go and they anchor out, and you get to watch the jets fly right over you, and as they're doing all their stunts and for the air show and having a good time. I want to do it one year, just I couldn't get to it this year. But did you see any of that stuff, or did you not really?
No, I didn't see any of it. Do you remember when we were living in Bay Ridge, when they would do during Fleet Week and the planes would fly up the river, and then sometimes they would break the sound barrier and we'd wake up thinking bombs were going off in the neighborhood? Do you not remember that?
I don't think I do. I remember Fleet Week where you would see a lot, because some of those people had family in the Brooklyn area, so you would see them walking around. But
when we were in Bay Ridge during Fleet Week, they had the Blue Angels flew up, over by the Verrazano, and they, broke the sound barrier, and it literally sounded like a bomb went off. Every car alarm in the neighborhood went off. It was crazy, but I didn't get to see it because I was sleeping, but I heard it when I jumped out of bed thinking we were under attack.
Did I do anything, or was I sleeping?
I don't know. It was one of those weird hours where you were just in Erik land. I think you could have slept through everything.
Yeah, I still have that issue where I can hear if someone walks into the room, I jump up and I'm ready to fight for some reason.
Yeah.
But a thunderstorm, an accident, sonic booms, I'll sleep right through it.
Sonic boom.
Sonic boom. That's the second time today I heard sonic boom. It happened at work earlier. Somebody made a reference to it, and I said, you never hear people making Street Fighter 2 references anymore.
Because we're in a simulation and everything's glitching. That's why you keep hearing the same words over and over again.
Sonic boom.
See?
What? Oh, no.
So you didn't go to the air show? You should go.
I didn't go to the air show. I would have loved to have gone out there, because I miss going out on boats and the ocean and stuff. I haven't been to the beach in years. The last time I was at the beach was the 2 weeks I was on vacation and then came back and Sirius decided that they were going to let me go. So I have not been to that was a couple of years ago. I've not been to a beach. I really want to go to a beach. I want to go to a resort with a nice pool.
We went to the beach at SuperCon. Was that before or after the Sirius thing?
That was way before. We didn't go. Remember, we didn't go to Miami in 2017 because
that's right. We missed it.
The guy was being difficult for no reason at all. So we didn't go down to SuperCon that year. But yeah, I want to go, but I haven't been to the beach in a while. And everyone's like, "Oh, you live near the Jersey Shore." One, I don't live near the Jersey Shore. It's an hour away from because I live next to Manhattan, but Jersey Shore, relatively close, yes, but it's still a bit away. Mm-hmm. Number 2, it's overcrowded. 3, like you had with the beach, you got to get all these residential permits or day passes, and then you got to pay parking if you can find parking because everybody rents houses or lives down there for the summer. It's just not. There's no fun going there unless you have a house where you can walk to the beach, like you did. That's the perfect opportunity to go and do so. Otherwise, why am I going to go down to that beach where everybody's going and and a lot of the clubs are there too? Yeah, like DJs and what was it, Jenks down there and Point Pleasant and everything you would see on Jersey Shore, the boardwalk stuff.
When you gotta like pay for everything, it's like you're spending so much money by the end of your weekend that it's not worth it. You're gonna spend like $300 just to go to the beach for a couple of days.
Right. Yeah.
It's just the beach. It's just nature. It's literally just sand and water. It's like, why do I gotta pay all this money for this shit?
Right.
This should be free. I'm a human. I should just be able to walk up to the beach and be like, I'm at the beach.
At least down in Florida, there's private beaches for people that, like in California, there's private beaches for people who have legitimate beachfront property. But then there's a lot of public beach sections so that you're not paying permits to go to the beaches. You know? And you're not even paying parking. If you can find parking there, then you're fine. You're not even paying parking permits. You can just go to the beach. Long Island, I mean, we used to go to Robert Moses Beach growing up on Long Island now and then, but even that was you had to know which field was the more empty field, because I think field 4 is the one that had the bathrooms and the snack bar and all that. 4 or 5, one of those, where everybody would go and it would be super crowded going over that little drawbridge, 1 lane each direction, and like there's no fun in getting here and then going to the beach, because then you're at the beach, it's crowded, you're paying for whatever, and then you realize, I'm gonna have to fight traffic trying to get back off the barrier beach back on the Long Island.
Yeah, like you have to leave at like 5 a.m. if you want to get to the beach. Like Robert Moses at this point, like Robert Moses and Jones Beach, like you have to leave so early. Because my buddy was telling me even last week by 9 a.m. Ocean Parkway they were telling people to go back at like 9 a.m. They were like, just turn back. They're like, it's no point. You should have got here at like 5 a.m. if you really wanted to go to the beach.
So dumb. But I also want to do a cruise too. I haven't done a cruise. I used to go on cruises all the time.
Oh yeah, you were the boat guy.
I haven't done a cruise since 2009. It's been 10 years. And every time I love watching the videos online for the promotional videos to see all the new ships and stuff. It's far beyond anything I remember being on a cruise anymore. I mean,
boat technology has changed so much in 10 years. It's just like, here, we got a space shuttle here. We'll send you to space for a couple of minutes.
They've got huge internal mall. Like when I was going in 2009 was the time where they started to realize they could hollow out the center of the ship on the top few decks. So it'd be kind of open air, and they'd have like a mall to make it look like Paris, to make it look like Manhattan, make it look like something metropolitan. Now they have go-kart tracks. They have the water slides that are clear that shoot you off the side of the boat. So you're over the ocean, then you come back in. They've got zip lining. They've got the wave riding. They've got all this great cool
zip line on a boat. Like, how big is this boat? Just zip line from one side of the boat to the other?
Some of these boats hold 7,000 people.
Dude, that's like a big storm. Like, oh my God, just zip line.
Yeah. You go from one side of the boat to the, not to the very front, but you go like from the back through the cutout center of the boat down into the center of the boat.
Yeah, and then you come back with some sort of upper respiratory disease because you're on a cruise ship.
Because people are fucking idiots. They don't. I don't know if it's what that virus that people get on cruise ships sometimes.
The rhinovirus, the thing, whatever it is.
No, it starts with an N, right? Norovirus.
Norovirus.
I remember going back at this point 20 years that they had the dispensers all over the place.
Yep.
To just clean your hands all the time. And I don't know how people are still doing this unless a lot of people are just dirty, Neanderthals, and they're not wiping their hands or washing their hands after they wipe or coughing or cleaning it. Like nobody's properly cleaning themselves. How does this constantly keep spreading?
Well, it shouldn't. You're on a boat. It's a self-contained ecosystem of germs.
Right.
Like it's not going anywhere. Like you can't get fresh, clean air inside that ship to get it all out of there. It's gross.
People need to clean themselves better.
But sometimes it's it's the people working on this ship too. Like it's just there's so many different factors. And then you go to a port, and who knows if you get sick at the port. Like
right. I always love the people that are dumb enough to get off the boat, and if they go to those beachside grills or the recommended restaurants from the cruise line, or if you do an excursion, they have some kind of kickback where they bring you to certain places, certain shops, what have you. People who get Coca-Cola with ice, or get iced tea with ice, or get water with ice.
Yeah.
It's like, don't get the water and don't get ice. You drink it. If they have it in the fridge, drink it just right out of the fridge. Open up a can, drink it that way. Stop doing the ice because people get so sick.
The water's not clean.
No, not at all.
It's gross.
I'll have to set something up where we'll do a cruise.
I have a canoe.
No, let's do a proper cruise.
Like a kayak?
No, like an actual gigantic boat that you can zip line. It'd be great if sometimes if you could turn the zip line over the ocean and then you hit the discharge button and the thing drops them in the ocean.
What kind of cruise ships you would go on, Eric? Eric's is like it turns into a battle royale, and no one else knows they're part of the battle royale. Eric's just throwing people off the ship. They have no idea why. They're like, that crazy man is at it again.
They didn't get thrown off the ship. They were voted off. Survivor cruise.
Yeah, they were voted off by your thumb pressing the button that ejected them off the side of the
Survivor
ship.
cruise. You have the thing, all the stuff that's on a cruise ship, but you don't know at what time or which particular excursion or event or item you're using on the ship could be the one that ejects you off the boat. And then you whittle it down to the final 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then you have the big competition for the winner. But the only thing is you can't invite back the previously kicked off contestants because they're floating in the water.
Yeah, they're probably all dead.
Yeah.
The only other winner is the guy piloting the ship. Like, he always wins.
Yes. Brought to you by Carnival Cruises.
Yeah, we put the Carnival in Carnival.
I would think that would be great. Survivor Cruise.
I mean, with the norovirus, it is a Survivor Cruise. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
That's the Plague Cruise.
It's like, oh my God, you didn't pack anything formal for Captain's Night. Dun, dun,
is this one of those zombie cruises? No, they're all just coming back to life.
Guess who's up for nomination tonight? Well, we didn't have to dress up for the other dinners. I know, but this is Captain's Night, which is formal night. You have to dress up at least in a sports jacket and slacks because they take your photos. There's a formal dinner. I know who's getting voted off tonight. And then you got to figure out how are we going to do that. It's easy. For this one here.
What would be the best way to vote someone off of a cruise ship other than just making them walk a plank?
Well, you got all those things that you're.
Thing's kind of interesting.
You have all those things, right? Where you can have a go-kart. They have go-kart tracks, so you have a race on the go-kart thing. But what they don't know is somebody holds this, won a competition and has this advantage where you click this button, but they don't know what it does. And what happens is, for the person that you want to eliminate, you click the button. All of a sudden, on this go-kart track, a ramp emerges, and before you can slow down and stop, and you jump right off the ship.
See, I think it would be better if whoever gets voted off the ship, like everyone votes, and then they don't tell you who gets voted off until you just get thrown off the ship. So you're just like, they're like, okay, all the votes have been counted, and the loser will be ejected. Right. Eventually. And then they just cut. And then, everyone's just walking around, oh my God, am I going to get thrown off the ship? And it's just a whole boat full of anxiety. And
the best part is that the first round of elimination, there's a token elimination the first night because you got to do it so everybody stays in check.
Sometimes they cut off like 3 people at once.
But no, that's the thing. They eliminate 1. But what the real doozy, the real getter, is the first port of call. because there's always going to be some people who don't make it back in time for the ship to leave. So it's always a crapshoot every season, but sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's none. One time it was 7. We were down to the final 12 on the second night.
But then, but what if it's the person doesn't know they're about to get stranded and the ship is just like, all right, you got to pretend you have a flat tire, take them out on this cruise. Like, this person's getting voted off the ship. And then you're just you're paying the local villagers to distract them while the ship leaves. And you're like, oh, no, they forgot me. And then the guy's like, sorry, you've been eliminated. And they're like, oh, no.
Here's what happens. So, because there's always going to be shots that the audience sees, but the contestants never see, right? So sometimes you'll have the purser's desk. Right?
Okay.
Whoever the woman is at the purser's desk. And that also handles the other desk that handles concierge and excursions and all of that. So what we're doing for our next port of call is we're offering 4 excursions. You have the Mayan tour in Mexico. You have the zip lining. You have whatever. One of these excursions, somebody is going to be eliminated. And you don't know. So they tell the audience one of these 4 excursions that people are going to go on is going to eliminate people, and you don't know what it is. It could
and they have to pick an excursion.
Like if you go to the Mayan, the Mayan pyramids, and you stop in Cozumel, Mexico, and you have the Mayan pyramids, right? You go to the Mayan pyramid. Now, some things could happen. You could get Indiana Jones style boulder comes down out of nowhere. You can get some kind of booby trap because you touched something you weren't supposed to. I'm
picturing Legends of the Hidden Temple, and Olmec is there, and the temple guards come out and grab you.
I like what you're saying. I like the fact that there's something in the temple that could talk and kind of make it a little humorous. But
it doesn't have to talk. You could just see the face.
Okay.
It's just like a stone carving.
A lot of gold and encrusted jewels, right?
Oh, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. So it's there for prosthetics. And then, you hit something, you stepped on the wrong tile of the floor, and all of a sudden, arrows shoot in every direction, and you're dead. You're arrowed. Or the floor opens up and you fall down a trap. Or something, maybe it's just as simple as 2 logs on ropes swing by and smash your head into a pancake.
Oh, I like that.
Something like that. Or it could be just something simple that you walk down the wrong path and the doorway closes, rocks move off to the side and lock the thing. Now you're trapped in your own tomb for the rest of your life.
How much does this cruise cost to go on? Is it free to go on this cruise, Eric? Are people paying for their own possible death?
No, it's totally free. Everything is covered.
Okay,
to the nines.
This makes sense.
Yes, you just have to pack a bag to have the right outfits to be there. I mean, God, look, they don't tell the contestants, but after season 1, everybody knows you better have your shit together for formal night, because that is just fucking child's play. That is amateur hour if you get eliminated from formal night because you just didn't bring a jacket.
Yeah, and you're going to wish you had formals because you're going to get buried in whatever shitty swimwear you have when you get ejected off the side of the cruise ship.
Right. So you have the Mayan temple. You also have the Jungle Jeep tour, where things can happen. Natives, deadly viruses from mosquitoes and other bugs, quicksand. Your Jeep can be locked in quicksand, and the guide grabs a vine and Tarzan's out of there, and you're stuck in this Jeep, and you shouldn't have taken the Jungle Jeep tour this time around. You've been eliminated, and your number's just floating at the top, but there's nothing left. It just says 7.
I mean, I'm liking this idea. At first, I wasn't sold, but I think you're selling me on this.
I think Survivor Cruise would be
Survivor
a lot of fun.
Cruises sound pretty good.
And then season 2, Hawaii, where there's actual volcano sacrifice.
What if for one of the eliminations they do a fake evacuation off the boat and everyone gets to the dinghies and one of the dinghies is just made to sink and they just launch them off the side and it just sinks.
No, even better. They all look the same. They all lower down normally. Everybody's on their life dinghy, their life raft of choice, right? Whatever's available, you get on. What they don't tell you is as you're drifting away, they have a couple of things on these things. So on the life rafts, on life preservers things, they have electric lights that light up once it makes contact with salt water. It completes an electrical loop, and the ocean pretty much powers your safety mechanism so people can find you in the dark, right? You have that. You have a flare gun. You have a little bit of ration of water and food. What they don't tell you is that one of those dinghies has a slow leak. So you're out there for a while. Everyone's like, oh, man, I think we can get through this. You have some shelter from the sun. You think you have everything until you're rescued. But then you notice in a few hours, like, hey, I was leaning back on the raft here a little bit. It's not as firm as I thought it was going to be. And they're like, he's got the slow leak. We didn't tell Steve, but Steve got the slow leak. Everybody started paddling away and with the oars pushing him. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Luckily, he caught a rip current, and we didn't have to see the gruesome death of Steve.
Yeah, the gruesome death, him just sinking slowly.
And then the producers saying in the air, could you re-say, remember, it's not death, it's elimination, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Re-say that. Luckily, he caught the rip current, and we didn't have to see the elimination of Steve.
So my next question is, how long have you been thinking about Survivor Cruise? Because you got some pretty detailed. You got the salt water infused lights and shit, dude. Like
just now.
Yeah, you've been thinking a lot about this. You say just now, but you're like, check. You have like a notebook I can't see. You're like Survivor Cruise.
Dude, sometimes it's the smallest detail that you would never think, like mealtime. You go on one of those midnight buffets where they have all the desserts and the ice sculptures and statues made out of butter and chocolate fountains and all that stuff. The big grand buffets they have at midnight. And something there can be tainted, and it could be some kind of virus other than the norovirus. It's something that maybe it's a flesh-eating disease. Maybe it's something that shows your veins and you start suffocating slowly on the inside.
See, I like the idea of Survivor Cruise, but I like the idea of everyone dying off of the boat.
Okay,
like,
so
I think
like
them being
boat.
like, you know what I mean? Like they're always, because they have to be eliminated from the boat as well. That's part of the elimination.
So no death on the boat.
Because the thing is, the people on the boat don't know that when they're getting eliminated, they're actually dying. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't know that the chocolate fondue fountain is really tainted.
Yeah, but like if someone dies on the ship, then everyone's going to get a little suspicious, and you're going to get a lot more people than you want. Like you want them off the boat.
So so no deaths on the boat.
Ship. You don't want to raise. It's like Disneyland. If someone dies on Space Mountain, you just say no, that's Kool-Aid, and you clean off the body, and then you give everyone free shirts.
Okay, so no deaths on the boat, but there can be forced removal under certain circumstances.
100%, yes.
Like if something's going on, and then the whole tribe votes mutiny, and they said Ginger is getting off this ship. And then, they all pick her up by her ankles and her wrists and their hair, and they're just dragging her off the boat, and they do the 1, 2, 3 over the railing, perfectly legal if it applies to the situation.
Yeah, it's like Royal Rumble mixed with Survivor, just no poisonings.
Gotcha. Now, I also think...
if someone gets, maybe dragged into steerage and we don't see what happens to them, I think that's okay. You know what I mean?
Big Titanic finale. Who's going to travel third class?
It's like The Simpsons. They're just shoveling them into the coal.
There's a lot of Irish down here. Sure are. Sealed off. Yeah. I think, though, because there's got to be some perks to Survivor Cruise where
like winning
you win a competition that prevents you from being eliminated off there. But the thing is, it's tricky because you can't let them know that there's a chance that they were going to be eliminated if they went off on an excursion or if they did some activity on the boat. So I think they unknowingly win an immunity challenge where if they do something and they happen to win, they think they get points like on a board or something like that. And that's just really the distraction, because what they do is they set up a private cocktail hour for you and one person you can pick, and you have a private dining experience or whatever, something along those lines that they can do kind of restaurant or food tie-ins or alcohol tie-ins, something, to pay the bills for all of this. But what they don't realize, they think they just won this nice little perk or a spa day. And it really was just to prevent them from going on the other things that the rest of them were, because somebody there got eliminated and they don't know that. Yeah. Okay.
It's like a divine fate type thing. You know what I mean? People have no idea. It's just...
This is almost turning...
Call it fateful cruises, because no one knows what's going to happen to them.
This is almost turning into Lemmings. Where you're putting up...
The game?
Yeah, remember Lemmings? We had to put up different paths and detours so that they didn't walk off the cliffs and kill themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this show idea. I'd watch this.
And look, you can tie in
I wouldn't
entertainment.
go on it, but I'd watch it.
You can tie in entertainment because, again, you win another challenge or something. You go and they, on cruise ships don't have necessarily the best entertainment, but they have cruise ship comedians. Or you can get real big name comedians because this is a huge show. They'll probably come and do this private little party in the theater, the main theater of the boat, where you can watch a major comedian do an actual show, or a Broadway. They do Broadway musicals on the ship sometimes. Blue Man Group, something along those lines. Cross promote it with like America's Got Talent. Whoever won there gets to perform on the cruise ship for Survivor Cruise.
This is like the ultimate reality cruise. And then there's a daycare for like all the people who's just like 85 kids and counting. And there's
Right.
like,
I think there's
Kids
a lot
don't
of
get eliminated.
I think there's a lot of possibility here. The only thing is we have to get some of these like an international understanding that deaths can happen, but they sign their rights away to it.
yeah, it's called international waters. And whatever happens out there happens out there.
But see, that's the waters. When you do the excursions, you have to have host countries that, one, are okay with it, and two, that these people all signed release forms that we are not responsible for their untimely deaths.
Yeah, I think as long as you show the locals a release form saying that it's okay, they'll be cool with it. I don't think they care.
Okay.
I think they're like, hey, you brought all these people here. Can we have some of their money if you do this? I think that's how you have to get them roped in. You know what I mean?
I think also, too...
Like how to pay them off.
Yeah, I think also... Well, I know we're all over the place with this, but I think also, too, what would be exciting about it is that sometimes things happen unexpectedly for the show. It's not scripted. It's not planned out. People just happen to get eliminated either by themselves or somebody else did it, and it had nothing to do with the events at hand. Like,
example,
say some guy and some girl in this season are a bit flirtatious. They're doing okay. They're hanging out a little bit, and it seems to be like some kind of on-screen romance, right? And then one day, he just comes to breakfast and she's never seen again. And then you find out later they had an argument and he threw her over the railing at night. Now, people are terrified about that, being thrown over the railing and being lost in the ocean because people die and never get found. And it's been joked about for a long time, but sometimes on Survivor Cruise, it does happen.
So like, what if they go to eliminate someone, like say that way? Is there little nets on the side of the boat where the boat can, catch that person, and then we could bring them back for the finale and be like, you tried to throw this person overboard and you thought they were dead, but they're back.
She gets to shoot you. Flare to the face. That is possible.
So you gotta have like little Spider-Man traps, because you can't be throwing everyone off the ship.
But see, then they're aware that it's going to happen. So I think that can work if they know someone's going to be eliminated, like say the ramp on the go-kart track, right? Or if you're in the water slide and I
love the ramp on the go-kart track. I think that's the best.
It's very Mario Kart like.
Yeah, that's why I like it.
But if you have the water slide that goes out over the side of the boat and then swings back in to build speed, what happens is that there's like a mechanism that part of the tube pulls back. So when you go flying off the boat, you fly off into the ocean, right? So I think if they know that's going to happen, they may have a thing, like they may have like a retrieval unit. They may have the net off the side of the ship like you're talking about. So everyone thinks that the person's been eliminated and they're really just down by the crew level until some big reveal, and then that person gets to off another person.
Yeah. There's a lot of options here. But what does the winner get other than, being able to live?
Yeah, that's a good call.
Like a trip on a real cruise?
I don't think you'd ever want to go on a real cruise after Survivor Cruise.
No, but what if you do that? What if you have a first place and a second place winner and they both get trips on a real cruise, but then you actually send the second place person on another fake cruise and eject them off that boat? So they thought they won, and then they go on another ship and then they get ejected right off that boat.
Oh my God, that's very, that's like The Prisoner. You thought that you got back to reality and it turns out everybody was in on it, that your reality didn't exist. Oh, that's creepy shit.
Yeah, we should do that.
I like that. So Survivor Cruise it is.
Let's do it.
Well done. Memorial Day was fine, I guess.
Did you grill anything? Did you eat anything?
Oh, yeah. I had family on Monday.
Hey, you grilled family. Nice.
I did grill family. It's part of, it's a spinoff from Survivor Cruise.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know what it's called, but it involves cannibalism.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Master Chef and Survivor. Which is great because, look, between seasons, when Master Chef Survivor Junior comes on, man, the ratings shoot up.
Oh my God, those kids are going to be brutal.
Thanos would love these game shows.
He'd be like, oh my God. He'd be like, boom. Oh no. It's like half the ship eliminated.
Tons of money to be made on all of this. Did some grilling on Memorial Day. Cooked a lot of food, relaxed. It was pretty fun. I went to Aunt's party on Sunday. I got there. It started pouring rain. I was like, just my luck. No pool, no anything. Went right back. And that was about it. It's been a busy week. A lot of stuff to get done and get prepared for next week. I didn't really say anything here, but launching a new show next week, Thursday, June 6th, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time on compoundmedia.com. It's Brian Johnson from Comic Book Men, Tell 'em Steve Dave, the Kevin Smith movies, and I are going to be doing a 1-hour show together. It should be a lot of fun. So I've been doing a lot of work to get ready for that and just regular work in general. And also this is the final week for WPLJ, so there's been stuff going on this week too.
What'd you steal from there?
I don't know. I had people on the inside who were going to tell me the bounty I shall receive.
Oh, man.
Because I gave a list.
So what's Trevor getting you?
I don't know. It depends on how much he can fit in that bag that he had with him when he went in there. Oh, did you know he was there?
I just assumed he worked there.
Well, he doesn't work there.
Well, I know he doesn't, but
No.
I know he did.
He didn't work there either.
Oh, he didn't?
No, PLJ is owned by Cumulus. He worked for CBS FM, which was CBS and Entercom, and now he works for iHeart. So, yeah, he had nothing. So this is a third company that he was involved in, but he went in there. So they've been doing these reunion shows and bringing a lot of air talent back in to host segments and a few hours here and there for Thursday and for Friday. And the station officially flips format 7 p.m. Friday, May 31st, where it goes to Christian broadcasting, which I don't know what that entails, but it's going to not be good. So they were doing the reunion shows, and today was Scott Shannon. He returned with his crew, and they did kind of a little impromptu Scott and Todd reunion, which I don't think Scott was really wanting to do or is expecting to do. For those who don't know, Todd hasn't lived in New York or New Jersey for the last 5 years. He's been living in Austin, Texas, and then just patched in through his studio to New York. So he's been doing a New York morning show from Texas for the last 4.5 years, right? So I think he turned on the connection to the studio while they were there, and all of a sudden Todd was there on the show. And I heard a few people who were talking very positively and very active during this whole thing, quiet, that they clammed up quick when Todd was on there because they don't like the guy. They wanted no interaction with him. And Scott was a class act, did everything he was supposed to do, engaged like nothing was wrong. But there was something, I forgot. Scott said something along the lines of, "We're celebrating." We're celebrating the farewell of PLJ, and Todd goes, "Well, let's not say celebrating. Let's just say looking back, because Monday I have no job." Right? And there was something along the lines of when he said, Scott then said, "Well, Monday morning for everybody here, we're on CBS FM if you want to come listen to us." And Todd said, "Maybe I'll have to make a call over there to see if there's anything." And Scott just goes, "No, we got a pretty full crew." So he was just like, "Yeah, there's no job for you here. Fuck you."
Just keep going. Move.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much been my week. It's been a slow news week other than the Mueller report stuff, which we're not going to get into because there's enough of that shit going on right now. And nobody's happy. Why bother? Other than that, there really hasn't been much going on this week. There was... Oh, no, actually, that's not true. Did you see the big Star Wars reveal at Disney?
I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
So, I think it was Wednesday night. They had the big official grand opening for Star Wars latest addition to their theme parks, the Galaxy's Edge. And it was hosted by Disney CEO Bob Iger. And he's standing in front of a huge model Millennium Falcon. And he's welcoming everybody, talking about how exciting this is, and you're going to love it. And then he brings up George Lucas, who George walks in. George can't... I mean, he's always fucking miserable, but he never can be happy with anything. Like, he should be lucky that he sold it for $4 billion because he didn't want to make it anymore, and that they still want him and they still use him as a figurehead for all of these things. You know, Disney still pays him to come and do all this stuff and invites him to everything. And he could not look more miserable being anywhere around it all the time. They walk down there, he's like, like kind of smirking, hands in his pocket, didn't really care. And he's just like, you're such an asshole. Everyone hates you now because you're such a dick.
Just go.
Yeah, just stop being involved with all of this. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan at all, but I know what fandom is like, and there's a lot of people who love Star Wars. It's a huge part of their life. And when you come walking in and raining on the parade, it's just like, fuck you, dude. You hate the thing that you created that so many people in this world love. It's like, stop inviting it. It would be like if Stan Lee appeared in every Marvel movie and was just constantly making fun of or shitting on what was going on in the movie.
Doesn't he kind of do that, though?
No, he's just there doing goofy little appearances.
Yeah.
But if Stan Lee he was just sitting there miserable and didn't want to be in every cameo, you'd be like, dude, stop being a part of this. Nobody gives a fuck if you hate it or not. We love these properties, and all you're doing is ruining your creation for everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, anyway, he was there. Then they brought out Billy D. Williams. They talked to Mark Hamill, did a nice little speech. And then this was the big surprise because he hates his character. Harrison Ford was there. And they said, well, they had Harrison do the official opening where he's like, I want to say, is it New Hope? Might be Empire. Where he goes, let go. And he bangs the Millennium Falcon to tell Chewie to start it up.
Yeah.
So he does that, but he doesn't say Chewie's name. He says Peter Mayhew's name. He goes, hey, Peter. And he starts banging them Falcon. He's like, start her up. And then the whole thing starts up and lights and smoke and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very cool and very classy on his part to say Peter's name instead of, the line for Chewie. But, he wanted to be killed off early on. He didn't want to do this anymore. And every time they said, well, how come you came back to Star Wars? And he said, they gave me a paycheck. So I don't get it. I really don't get it when you're that level of an artist that you don't like the thing everybody loves you for.
I mean, it's such an iconic role,
right?
And I'm sure you just get to a point where you're just tired of you just get tired of it. Like, you get burned out from it. You know what I mean?
But he's had so many iconic roles. It's not like that's the only thing that he's known for.
But it's what made him.
It's what made him. Yeah, it's what made him indeed. But he should love that thing. He's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and look what happened when he went back to Indiana Jones. It was horrible. Like, why did he do that?
That was the fourth one, but I'm saying the first three, he had another role that separated him from being Han Solo.
Yeah,
he's had a few other things too. He's in a couple of he's Jack Ryan in a couple of the movies, right?
Is he?
Is that what I'm thinking of? Let me see. I thought he was Jack Ryan in one of the movies.
I think he was. Wasn't he like President Ryan in Get Off My Plane, Air Force One, or something like that?
Oh, he's President Mark. Oh, Air Force One. Yeah. Well, that wasn't an iconic role. I did love that movie.
That's a great movie.
It was a great movie where they had him with the parachute and they kicked him off the cargo ramp for the plane so he'd fly over to the other plane.
Oh my god, it's such a ridiculous movie. And the horrible CGI of the plane crashing at the end, it was like some of the worst CGI I've ever seen.
Patriot Games. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, he was Jack Ryan in Patriot Games.
Oh, I didn't see Patriot Games.
And it was Patriot Games. There was another one. President? No, it wasn't The President's Men. People are listening and yelling at me. No, Clear and Present Danger. Clear and Present Danger.
Oh, Clear and Present Danger, yeah.
Yeah, that was another one. So Jack Ryan, look, a lot of people play Jack Ryan like people play Bond, but it's another iconic character. And it's not like he hasn't had other American Graffiti was a huge movie. That was George Lucas's one of his early works.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of that, and that was even before Star Wars was that was about 5-6 years before Sar Wars. That was early. That was early 70s.
I thought. Yeah, I guess it was because first Star Wars was what 76, 77?
77 was the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
Point being, he has an impressive body of work. He's had a few iconic roles. So it's not just he's constantly known as Han Solo for the rest of his life. And that's what I don't get. That was the thing that that made you, and you resent it so.
But it's also like Star Wars is back in the spotlight again. You know, the rehash, the the new movies, all the spin-off movies. There was a Solo, him as a younger guy movie. Like, Star Wars is popular again, so he's probably just getting, bugged again about it. I'm sure it died off for a while, but Star Wars is really popular again.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But anyway, that's the big opening down in Disney. So good luck for the next couple of years trying to get down there and see everything. They have limitations for your participation in the park. You have a 4-hour window. So you can go in there, you can try everything. You can't just hang out at the bars and sit there all day.
You can only be in there for 4 hours. That's like one ride line.
It's 4 hours. There's only a certain amount of people that are allowed into the park, unless that was the pre-opening.
Are you sure you're not watching the Cartman Land episode of South Park?
No. Although that would be hysterical for Cartman Land, where we had to keep hiring people because the rides were breaking down.
Yeah.
No, there was a 4-hour window. Maybe it was before the big grand opening, but there was a 4-hour window where you could be in there, and then they tell you it's your time to leave, so they could keep the flow of people moving. Because otherwise, people would just hang there all day, and all the big influx of people wouldn't get a chance to get in there and buy all their stuff. There's exclusive merchandise to the park, so all the collectors are going to be down there. But it's going to be at least 2 years before you have an easy window to walk in there and on your own and kind of relax a little bit. Like, it'll be Disney crowded, but not insane fandom crowded.
Yeah.
To go and check all that out. It looks great. I've seen a bunch of photos of it. They had drone shots. There's a drone video, I think. It might be on the Disney YouTube channel or it's Star Wars YouTube. One of them has the drone thing that flies over and you can see everything. It looks pretty cool. I haven't been down to Disney. Cruise was 10 years. Disney was 16 for Halloween and Food and Wine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's
I was probably 14 or 13 last time I was there, so at least 20 years.
I would love to take you down or send you to Disney because every other post would just be you doing a rock pose or a thumbs up with all the characters.
No, it would be me like, why am I at Disneyland? I don't like Disney stuff. You know me, I'm not a Disney guy.
You wouldn't enjoy the park experience since it's changed so much since you were 14? Just to see all the cool new shit?
I mean, I guess so.
Or would you rather go to like Universal where there's roller coasters?
I would rather go to Universal. Like, I'm just not a Disney person.
All right.
Like, there's nothing that would get there, like the Mickey ears and all that stuff. Like, I'm not into that. I don't know. Just not a Disney person.
Well, when that Powerball money comes in, we're going to send you and a video crew to places that you don't want to go just to get your experience.
Ugh.
You'll be a viral sensation.
Can I just do that? Just reaction videos of just me being disgusted with things.
Yeah.
Like everyone else watches them to see people's real reactions. I'm just like, fuck this shit, and I turn it off.
Yep. That sounds perfect. That's the way you should do it.
I want to do that, actually.
One other story before we go to break. So Amazon's always in the news for something. It's usually either Jeff Bezos' divorce or some kind of business deal he's trying to do, or people think Amazon's taking over the world. This one showed up and was a bit interesting. So Amazon's eliminating some books from being sold on their service. Amazon is cleaning its shelves of pseudoscience books promoting bleach as a cure for autism.
Yeah, you should probably get rid of that.
Well, so when you first see that headline, I'm like, is this The Onion? It's got to be some kind of really bad joke. And no, there's books saying that you should be drinking bleach intravenously to help cure autism. So you're pretty much just, for dumb people, you're telling them drink bleach so you can die and you kill off autistics.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe those were even for sale.
Well, was it like an actual like hardcover book, or was it like one of those ebooks that people can just upload and you can download it if you want?
That is a good call. I'm going to go check right now.
Because that sounds more like one of those ebook type things. Because I can't imagine a publisher. I can't imagine like Harper Books or something like that being like, this bleach book is gonna do great.
It was also tied into, that was the big headline, but also a little later in the first couple of paragraphs, they're also eliminating books that are promoting and rallying causes for anti-vax groups.
Yeah.
So they're getting rid of all that stuff too, and people are saying that, oh, that's, you know, that's almost like the old time book burning, that you're banning books, you're not allowed to have this stuff, but it's like you're telling people to kill themselves.
Yeah, it's not banning books. You can just make up anything you want and just like, you know, say it's anti-vax. It's all bullshit.
So it says in this article here, Amazon has stopped selling at least a dozen books that promote bleach consumption as a cure for childhood autism. Not just autism, your kids, little kids.
Of course.
The news confirms from NBC following.
Only need one bottle of bleach if it's a little kid.
Yeah, that news comes from NBC following an in-depth report by the network last week that desperate parents looking for answers to their children's health problems have turned to drastic measures such as chlorine dioxide drinks and enemas. Chlorine dioxide is what does it say?
Toxic.
No, the stupid ad thing was in the way. Chlorine dioxide is tantamount to bleach, which is a toxin. Literature taking out of circulation by Amazon for promoting that pseudoscience, which has been empathetically debunked by credible organizations, including the Food and Drug Administration, including works by authors with ties to Scientology and the anti-vaxxer movement.
Like, why was it even there to begin with? Get rid of that shit.
It could have been one of those things where, you know, you have to have a human person, not just fucking algorithms and bot checks seeing what's being uploaded, because you could label it one thing and it could be something completely different, and if you don't read the reports, then these books get posted all the time. You're not aware of it. Let's see. NBC News deep dive into the dangerous mythology surrounding autism, which has no known cause or cure at the moment, focused on the effort of two southern state moms who infiltrated social media groups promoting dangerous remedies for the increasingly common developmental disorder. They documented their interactions with such people and notified child service workers in the towns where those people reside. And why did I'm trying to see. God damn these fucking pop-ups. I am not interested. Thank you. One misinformed mother they outed to local authorities had written in a private chat room that her child won't open his mouth to drink his poison and that he screams, spits, and flips over when she tries to feed it to him. Another misguided parent complained that her child broke his enema applicator when he was trying to escape. Insane.
These people should be put in jail.
Oh, yeah.
Their kids should be taken away. They should be put in jail. Like, what is wrong with them?
Right. Amazon caught up with the NBC's Dragnet when it was discovered the online retail giant sold books by snake oil salesmen pushing chlorine dioxide cures for autism. According to NBC, Amazon wouldn't provide details about the questionable parenting books they reportedly removed from their inventory. So they're not telling you which books they are, that whatever books were brought to their attention were removed. So it could have been hardcover, could have been softcover, could have been the ebooks, could have been anything.
I mean, like, censorship is one thing. Telling people that they should feed their children bleach to cure autism is another thing. Like, not censorship. This trying to protect people's lives.
Yeah. I just don't get it. Like, remember Sixth Sense, where it happened and people knew that it was going on, but when one of the reveals towards the end was the one mother who was poisoning her kid by putting Lysol in her soup. Yeah. And then saying we can't figure out why she was getting sick. I forgot what that syndrome is called.
Munchausen?
Is that what it is? Munchausen?
I don't know. I could be wrong. That could be like a disease. Hold on.
You look that up. But when that mother was slowly poisoning her child just so that her child would remain sick and that the mom had something to do, like, it wasn't malicious in the sense of that she wanted to kill the kid.
Yeah, Munchausen syndrome.
It was that so that she would be reliant and needed by the child always because this kid was constantly sick. And the fact that, that it was always going on, but there really wasn't too big a public spotlight on it until that movie. And then when that came out, where the Munchausen syndrome, because that movie was so huge that now
it's like this. Like, what I'm reading here says it's like you do it to yourself, but I feel like there's the one where you're doing it to someone else.
Yeah.
All right.
But is that another form of Munchausen then? It
probably is.
Yeah. So when that came to light, all of a sudden you started seeing all these stories about and hearing about really shitty parents or family members doing that to other family members. And you start thinking like, why would you do this to your family? It's like, are you that lonely for attention? Do you honestly think? I think it's all bullshit if they honestly think that they were trying to help these people.
Oh, it's called Munchausen syndrome by proxy if you do it to someone.
That's it. You're right. 100% right.
But it's fucked up, man. People are really horrible people, dude. There's just really terrible people out there who will just fuck with people who will do this shit to them. Like, elder abuse is a real thing. It's like Stan Lee's, what was it, like his caretakers in court now or something about it? Because he was
they were trying to take
Stan
money. Somebody was controlling his Twitter account for a while. And then I think, I don't know 100%, so I'm not trying to come off as being insensitive about it, but that story that came out about him like being inappropriate with his healthcare provider, like the nurse that would come in or therapist that would come in and take care of him on a daily basis or whatever, that came up mysteriously out of nowhere right when people were starting to turn their head and go, hey, who's taking Stan Lee's money? Who's running his Twitter account? Who's that? Yeah. All of a sudden, oh, Stan Lee's being inappropriate, like trying to get it into the Me Too movement, which it didn't. You know, and it was investigated. It turned out it really wasn't what people were saying. But I'm glad that this thing's coming to a court case now, where these people that were trying to take his money. I don't know if it was family.
He was like stealing his blood or something too. Remember, like that weird story that wasn't there? There was a story that came out like over a year ago that like someone was stealing his blood and was like trying to sell it or something like that.
I didn't know that.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna Google this quick.
Someone's stealing Stan Lee's blood.
Blood.
He's not the Hulk. He keeps saying he is, but he really isn't. You're not going to get Hulk-like powers. By the way, while you're looking that up, do you like my new ginormous beverage container?
Dude, they get bigger every week.
Look at this thing. This is
Dude, that is like what Walter White was dissolving children's bodies in Breaking Bad. Like, look at that thing.
Yes, listen to it though.
Did that come with the cup, or was it just two straps and you just strap it to the biggest beverage holder you can find?
No, it came this way, but listen. You know what this is? You know those Yeti cups? Those vacuum insulated metal cups that keeps the hot side hot and the cold side cold? That's what this is. In ginormous 50-ounce form.
That's crazy. I want one.
It is. It looks like a little barrel of like nuclear waste.
It looks like one of those barrels that the St. Bernard would have when they come rescue you in the mountains.
They have the brandy. Yep.
Yeah, if it has brandy, it probably just had nothing in it. It probably just had food for the dog. So when he gets there, you could feed it and then it'll drag you home.
It comes in 3 convenient features of straw, sip, and gulp.
Is that a paper straw?
No.
Is it a turtle murdering straw?
Oh, not yeah. This is gonna.
Does it come with a straw, like built in, or no? Oh, that's built in.
You can take it out from the mechanism here, but then you have the sippy cup feature, which is kind of cool for casual beverage consumption. Or if you're outside and you're living it up and you wanna chug this bad boy, you flip this top here and boom, you got 50 ounces of fluid floating into your mouth. I'm like, what's his name? Master of the pan flute, Zamfir. We really took a weird turn from autism books to sippy cups. I forgot what you were looking up because I was enjoying my beverage so much. I got rid of the big mason jar things that I had too, the big handled mason jars, because that was only a 30 ounce.
I want a giant jug beverage, Eric. Send me a giant jug beverage.
I'll get you one of these.
Yes, I need one of those for iced coffee.
This one is, what's the company that makes this one here? This one is, it says Reduce on it, which is probably just a joke because there's no way you're reducing on this. Yeah, I won't give out the link. Reduce, but it is a 50-ounce beverage that'll keep the cold side cold and the hot side hot. If they want to advertise on this show, we'll gladly take their money and talk from experience with product integration. But for now, you got a freebie. No more talk about the Reduce mug.
Like, just stop tapping on it. Just send me one. God damn it.
It's awesome. It's this metallic blue. This is what the astronauts use.
That's not what they use at all. They drink like dehydrated water. You just rub it onto your forehead. You're not thirsty anymore.
Hydrated water, and it's just talcum powder.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go to break.
All right.
It's Eric Nagel with Erik and Gittles. More next. It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook at It's Eric Nagel. It's Eric Nagel. He is back.
Welcome back to It's Eric Nagel. That is me. That's Gittles over there. We're back for segment 2. The Deuce.
The Deuce.
Right after the dude wipes. Makes perfect sense. Look at that product integration.
Oh, my God.
You are listening to Bittersweet Siffany. Symphony.
Bittersweet syphilis.
Oh, that could be the title.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Symphony. Done. Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve. Now, this was a song, late 90s, I'm going to say, no, it wasn't, 97. It's 1997. This was a huge hit for The Verve, but they lost all the music rights to it because they illegally sampled the Rolling Stones.
Well, no, they legally had permission to sample it, but the lawyers said that they sampled more than they were allowed to sample.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, and
Okay.
so they didn't give them the royalties because they said they used too much.
The song by the Rolling Stones is called The Last Time. It's you'll know the song. You're listening to it here, the orchestral stuff. From what you said, they sampled too much of this. Well, after all of this time, they've been denied royalties for 2 decades. This song is a staple on any kind of 90s format or 80s, 90s, 2000s kind of blend. That song comes on all the time. I
can't tell you the amount of times I've fucking heard that song in my life.
Right, and they were not receiving any of the money because it all went to Mick Jagger and to Keith Richards.
Oof.
But here's what happened. So, just recently, they decided that they were going to hand the royalties back to Richard Ashcroft, who was the gentleman, the lead singer, the main writer for the Verve's Bittersweet Symphony. So now they're finally, after 2 decades, getting money for the song that they put out. But going from this point on, it's like, oh, you got the rights back, you get the money from it.
Wait, so it's going from this point, it's not like backlog?
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Oh, that's some bullshit. Because at that point, I'd be like, it doesn't matter. Play that it was going to get.
It's like, oh,
now it's like
you just got $35,000. What are you complaining about? He's got $200 million.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
It is terrible, but that is the case. Looking at the week's box office from last weekend, actually, coming in number 1, the live-action Aladdin did fairly well, $91 million in its opening weekend.
Damn, that means they're going to keep making these stupid live-action Disney movies.
I know. Number 2, and we'll get into this in just a second, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. Number 3, Avengers Endgame, still in the top 3, making all the monies. What is it up to now? Did it beat Avatar? Let me take a look. Please tell me. Big money, big money, big money, and stop! Nope, it's still just short. It's at
$5,000 on a boat?
Yes. How did you know? And I have three whammies here. If I hit one more whammy, I lose it all. It's just at $2.7 billion. So I think by the time the summer's over, it'll eventually hit the threshold of beating.
Oh, it'll definitely get there.
Yeah, it's just slowing down very, very dramatically. Number 4, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and number 5, Brightburn, which just opened last weekend. Now, I don't know. I've saw some reports on it saying that it was an interesting concept of a superhero origin story, but the superhero is really a villain. You know?
Yeah, I heard it's not good.
It's like a reverse Superman kind of situation. And that's the other thing that was disappointing, because some of the reviews were saying, oh, this is kind of cool. And we're reading the concept. Last week, we were very excited for this. And then I'm seeing the reviews from other people, and they're saying that this was either boring or disappointing.
Yeah, I saw numerous reviews that were like, this is just not good. It was a really good concept that they just failed miserably at. And that sucks because there's only so many times you can, use that concept and get away with it. And it sucks when someone spoils it. You know what I mean? Like, you want someone to come right out the gate rocking with it.
Right.
But now it's like, because now if anyone else doesn't, they'll be like, oh, they're going to try and do what Brightburn did, and Brightburn sucked. Well, I want to see it, but I'm going to wait for on demand so I can watch it there, or if it goes on Netflix or something. But yeah, I'm not going to the theater to see that. I still have to go to see John Wick 3. You went and saw that. What did you think? I saw it on Friday, and I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It takes place, no joke, an hour after the last movie takes place. So the last movie takes place with John Wick running, and this movie picks up with him running down the street, looking at his watch as time is counting down. And it's really fun. I actually liked it a little better than the second one, because the second one I feel like got a little serious at points and they lost some of the humor in it. And this one was just laugh out loud funny in a lot of parts. And it was, meant to be that way. So it was really entertaining.
So you're saying John Wick 3 is now, like, the first was, when that first movie came out, they didn't really know how it was going to fare. And then it just became like this big kind of cult hit. And then the second one comes out, and like you just said, some people didn't really like it. I liked it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I liked it, but it wasn't as good as the first.
Because it looked like it was too serious, as you said. They took themselves too seriously. So is it now safe to say that on the third one, they're self-aware about this, and then they went for what they're supposed to be, and they're aware of the fact, which is why they threw in all the cool action choreography and then having these funny moments that you said the movie had?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely funny moments because, like, there's people who are, like, fans of John Wick who are telling them that they're fans of him as he's killing them. You know what I mean?
Very self-aware. Okay.
Like, very self-aware, but not like, oh, I'm a fan of yours, like, because I watched the movies. Like, there are other assassins who are like, I wish I could be as good as you. Like, I look up to you as he's, like, murdering them and, like, stuff like that. So there's lots of funny stuff like that. There's killer animals.
Right.
I will just leave it at that. Lots of knife work.
I see there's horseplay.
Oh, there is. There is some horseplay.
One of those trailer cuts I saw where he's just galloping. It's New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just galloping through Manhattan with the horse.
But yeah, they show the scene of him galloping on the horse. They don't show the scene of him in the stable trying to get the horse, and that is some crazy shit.
All right. Well, I still have to go see it, so I'm really excited.
It's really good.
Good. I'm glad.
Definitely recommend it. It's fun. It's it's not. It's just the John Wick movie. Like that's all you could say. It's like it's the third in a series of a movie who is an unstoppable assassin. And there's just over the top fight scenes, lots of shooting, lots of knives, and you'll enjoy it. If you like the first two, you'll definitely like this one.
I went back last weekend. I had so much going on. I tried to start over the John Wick franchise. I got about halfway through the first one and had to stop. I'll go and revisit it again. Two things. One, I forgot how brutal the dog scene was in the first one. Like it's heartbreaking when you watch that, and you're like, oh, it's just a movie. But then as I'm getting older, sometimes I'll just watch stuff and I get emotional for no reason, and it's always involving animals. So that was one thing. But then the other thing was the sort of mini bad level villain in the first one is the guy from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
The one who's not the was it Theon? Was that the one who was castrated?
Theon.
Yeah. What was his name that they called him?
Reek.
So yeah, it was him playing the Ukrainian or the Russian mobster's son who killed the dog, who destroyed the house, who stole his car and all that stuff. And it's fun to go back and watch things because you didn't know these people at the time. And then you go to watch them and you're like, oh, that's that dude.
There's other Game of Thrones actors in the third one. Different Game of Thrones actors.
Oh, are there? Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's great. Go see it.
I have to go see that this weekend. Also opening this weekend, Godzilla 2, King of Monsters. And look, I was looking for the trailer looks okay. I'm going to go see it no matter what the critics or audience response is to it because I just like those movies. But
Yeah.
it was weird reading some of the reviews, and they were not spoiler reviews in the sense of like giving away like key moments of the movie, but a lot of people were like, oh, this is a pretty good movie, or this is just a mindless monster movie. It's a popcorn movie. If you go in there with low expectations, you're going to love it. And then I see people saying that this is a boring movie, that this is not good, this was nothing that you think it's going to promise. And it was so 50-50 on the reviews. I was like, well, is it good or bad? There's not leaning to either side. I think it's just some people don't like these movies just like they don't like superhero movies, or they don't like another genre of movies, that they're just going to poo-poo it, if you will.
Well,
just
the thing
because
is,
it's a monster
there's movies that you need critical review for, and then there's movies you just need a review for. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain movies that you have to be like, yes, this is what the director was going for, and this is what this is going for. But then you need, like, this movie, just like, yes, big monsters smash buildings, it's fun.
Yeah,
because that's what this is. Unless it's not even that, but I highly doubt a movie that has 17 different Godzilla type creatures in it is not fun. Like, it's got to be at least Day After Tomorrow level of fun, where it's just so bad it's good.
Day After Tomorrow is
such
a great movie. It's such a great bad movie. I haven't seen Geostorm, and that's because,
oh my god, dude, you got to see Geostorm.
It's not available on iTunes.
Yeah,
sorry, to rent. You can purchase it, but you can't rent it for some reason.
Yeah, it's on Vudu. You can purchase it, but it's worth the buy.
I just want to rent it.
It's worth the buy.
I don't want.
You'll want to watch it again, and then you'll yell Geostorm,
just like you yell, dude.
Yeah, but you got to yell Geostorm at the top of your lungs.
What's going on? See what I did there?
I screamed at the top of my lungs, Geostorm. That'd be a great mashup. I got to do that.
At the top of my lungs, Geostorm. And I said, hey, 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 hey.
Hey, that's my house. Put it down, tornado.
Geostorm. So Godzilla's opening this weekend. I definitely want to go see that. Next weekend, X-Men Dark Phoenix, the conclusion of the Fox version of the X-Men Marvel Universe. It's still not looking good.
Yeah.
The trailers.
I saw the trailer for that before John Wick.
The early reviews are kind of eh. And again, like we said last time, this movie has been delayed because they actually had to go back and reshoot a lot of it because it tested so poorly.
It didn't look good.
So they're probably just wrapping things up. Because look, even the first round of X-Men movies, when they did X-Men 3 and they had the shitty Deadpool in it with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Like that, people hated that one too. And that's why they had to go, well, let's go back in time and make them kids. So then you had X-Men Kids doing all of this stuff. And for some reason, when you get to the third one, they screw the pooch. Well, what can you do?
How did that become the phrase for fucking up? Like, wasn't there a comedian who said that recently? He's like, screwed the pooch. Like, you really fucked up if you screwed the pooch.
I don't know, but that goes back generations.
Yeah, exactly. Like the first guy who screwed the pooch.
A lot of countries had to ban the fact like you don't fuck the dogs.
Well, yeah, I don't know. That's not my joke. I heard somebody say that recently, but it is true.
June 7th, Secret Life of Pets, for those of you with kids or just don't want to see the adult movies for some reason.
Spoiler, they're stockbrokers.
June 14th, the Men in Black 4 with Chris Hemsworth and the nice actress lady who I can't remember her name. Yeah,
it looks fun.
And then June 21st, Child's Play, the reboot with Mark Hamill as Chucky.
Ugh, no interest.
And the 22nd is Toy Story 4. And then Spider-Man for 4th of July.
Oh, I can't wait till they mix that up and some parents accidentally drag their kids into Chucky thinking it's Toy Story 4.
Well, did you see when they had the teasers for Toy Story 4 that they put out the Child's Play teaser that it was just same room, but it was just off, and you saw like Woody's legs as the body was being dragged in a blood trail?
Yeah.
So that's all there. That's what's coming up. Also, new movie trailers that debuted this week. Swamp Thing is getting a reboot. Now,
just saw it.
This is what Gittles told me before the show. I thought it was going to be a theatrical release, and it's not. It's going to the DC Direct, right?
Yep, it's because I just watched the trailer to catch up before the show, and at the end of the trailer, because it said coming like June or whatever, but then it just said only here, and it listed like the DC Universe app, but then it also said like iTunes, Roku, Xbox. It had like a whole bunch of other services listed, but I think it's going to be a direct to home launch. And the sad thing about it is it's like one of the only decent looking movies I've seen in the DCU where I'm actually like, oh, I kind of want to see that. Like, it looked pretty good.
Did you notice some of the shots that they were doing? Because obviously the swamp, but the way the roads were and everything, it looked exactly like where they shoot The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It looks like they just doubled up on the sets. It's like, all right, we're a wrap, people. Swamp Thing comes in at night. You know, they rent they sublease the area that they're renting for Walking Dead to recoup some of that so that Swamp Thing can film there extra cheap. But the trailer's up. All these trailers are up on our Facebook. Go over there and like the Facebook. So follow the Facebook there. It's Erik Nagel on Facebook. Second trailer that came out was Rambo Last Blood. Now, here's some of the things. It looks okay. I definitely want to see it. It looks, as Anthony said on the show, it just looks like Rocky as Rambo. Like, there's no distinction that he looks like Rambo anymore. It's just Sylvester Stallone with a bow and a knife and a nice watch.
Yeah, I didn't see the trailer for this one yet, but I did see a tweet that just said this movie should just be Rambo boxing Rocky, and one of them dies at the end.
Yeah,
and just Sylvester Stallone playing both roles, punching himself in the face until he kills one of themselves.
Rocky comes out of the corner, shadow boxing and blocking and everything, and Rambo just shoots a bow right into his head, and then shoots an arrow into his head, and he's dead. Anyway, so here's what I don't understand. So it looks like Rambo's living in some kind of ranch that looks like it would be a cult leader's place, like a Branch Davidian or something like that. He's in this isolated ranch that people are invading his ranch to find Rambo. I don't know if they're government agents. I don't know if they are a secret tactical team. I don't really know who's coming after Rambo, but people are coming after Rambo. And he said, I've spent my life avoiding my past, and now I'm facing it head on, because it's called Last Blood. So this is probably his last stand. So it's just constant montage of people trying to break into his house, and he's just killing people, into the barn, into this farmland, and he's killing people. Then there's like underground caverns, which made no sense. I don't know how are there tunnels under this farm? Is Rambo trafficking humans?
He's Rambo. He does whatever the fuck he wants.
I know, but how these people coming after him, and how great would it be that Rambo really was a piece of shit? Like, he was doing human trafficking. He's doing all these tunnels for slavery and drug trade and all this stuff. And you're like, oh, it's really just it's the Department of Tobacco and Firearms trying to seize this criminal. They don't tell you that until the very end. Really, Rambo's a piece of shit.
He's been the villain the whole time.
There's some aerial shots where he just lights something up, and you just see a fire line go across the wheat field, and just a huge wall of fire as the people are running and vehicles are coming. This huge wall of fire just goes down a line and then up like 20 feet. It's so ridiculous. It's so over the top. Here's the other thing that kills it for the trailer, though. The music that they used is that Billy Ray Cyrus country rap song that's out right now.
Oh, that little Nas X.
Old Town Road, Old Dirty Road, Old Dirty Bastard. Let me see what it's called.
Yeah, I saw the video for that. It popped up on my
Old
YouTube
Town Road. It's Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas X. Now, that song sucks enough as it is, as you're listening to it here. But there's a different version. It's almost like an acoustic remix, if you can combine those two things together. And that's playing through the whole time. It's a very interesting choice to use that. And I don't know if that's just a marketing ploy or tactic to try to get younger people to want to see this movie, because you hear something of your generation on a property that's, a Gen X property. But
I think it's a hit crossover song between rap and country, and that if it fits the vibe, they're going to use it. I think that's what it is.
Vibe, though, it just seems kind of, because that song you hear it and it takes you out of the trailer, because you're like, why is this song fucking playing?
I don't know. Most songs take me out of the trailer, to be honest. Every time I hear a creepy cover, my eyes roll so far to the back of my head that the people in the back row could hear it.
Remember we did that early on with the show back on the satellite days.
We did it all the time. The creepy covers, I hate them
because one of the biggest culprits was Gotham on Fox.
Oh yeah,
their promos every week always had like you'd have it wasn't just like the creepy version of Mad World, because that song was creepy enough as it is, but you'd hear, and I'm hungry like the wolf, and you're like, ugh, this is a shitty cover that I would never listen to.
Oh, hate it.
And then
Hate
you hear
it.
other songs, and I run so far away. Sunday on Fox. Gotta get away. And you're like, oh, this is so pathetically douchey.
Please stop.
But yeah, that's what was in this trailer now. It does kind of take you out of it. Trailer, again, up on our Facebook page. You can check that out. Third trailer for this week, Ma. I knew nothing about this, but Gittles saw the trailer. Was it in front of John Wick when you went to
Yeah, it was in front of John Wick.
So he tells me to go and watch the trailer, and it's got influences from several movies into this thing. And it's about this lady who I guess befriends the kids of the town, because it's one of those little towns where not a lot goes on and everybody knows everybody's business, so they can't get pot, they can't get alcohol because they're high school age. And she befriends them, and she's a single woman living in this huge house, and the kids come over to party at her place all the time, so because she can get beer, and they have huge, she
has a whole basement that's like a rec room, and you can just party, and she won't call the cops, and no one cares.
Smoking, there's drugs, there's illicit activities going on. It's a big party place, right? And then as you're watching the rest of the trailer, some things are happening where now it's starting to shift. Like she may not all be there. I mean, she's not there to begin with if she's befriending all these kids, and she looks like she's in her 40s.
Yeah, something like that.
And so then she starts, I guess, doing things to the kids or turning on the kids and like slowly like torturing these kids, like kidnapping them, torturing them, sewing them together.
Yeah, like lots of weird shit.
You can't tell if the kids are drugged and passed out or if they're actually dead. It doesn't really reveal that, but she's like sewing their lips together while they're awake, and she's sewing their arms together while they're asleep. Like it's all this weird stuff. Then it's revealed a little later in the trailer that she's a friend of one of the girls' moms. She shows up at this girl's house. She's like, and her mom said, "Oh, we went to school together."
Well, she's not a friend of hers. The mom knows her because they went to school together.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. So they went to school together. So at this point, I'm kind of deducing that it might be the story that this lady was mistreated in school by all these people it's one of those small towns where nobody moves away. It looks like.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
And like she was mistreated by all these people, so she's gonna go real life Freddy Krueger and torture the kids of the people that she went to school with. I mean, that's my assumption based on the trailer of what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. I'm hoping there's some like really weird twist, and it turns out that like that's not what it is. Yeah. But that's very much what it looks like.
It has.
I don't care. It still looks like fun.
It does look like a lot of fun. It's from the producers of Get Out, so they're in. They're already in that mindset for this movie. She comes off a little bit like Kathy Bates in Misery.
Very much.
A little bit like Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction. Like I said, her character does seem to have the same kind of vengeance Freddy Krueger does. You can see the influence from a bunch of different movies in this. Like certain things are happening. You're like, oh, it feels like this movie. Oh, she feels like that character. It's interesting. I'm curious to see the movie myself and see what the twist is and how it goes. But it caught my interest. I didn't expect to like this. I'm not a big horror fan, but this isn't a slasher, gruesome kind of horror thing. It's a creepy, almost like a mindfuck kind of.
I love how you're like, this isn't a gruesome like horror thing, as you explain that she's sewing people together in a basement.
All right, that is kind of gruesome, but. You know what I'm talking about, like the slasher films.
I know what you mean, like the over gratuitous, like ultra violence.
I'm not one of those kind of fans. I like the fucked up ones where it's more like a psychological fuck up, or it's just weird shit happening for weird reasons, like Conjuring. The jump scare kind of shit. Yeah, those kind of things. Shit. I know you think that's stupid, but
I hate that stuff.
Well, there's another Conjuring universe movie that's coming out.
Ugh.
I can't remember what it is. Damn it. What is the damn movie? I just saw it on TV last night. It says, the latest edition in the Conjuring universe. I was like, the Spanish Nun wasn't enough. Now we have to do this one here. They're really, look, if you want to say Insidious was a great franchise, but they got blown away by the Conjuring. They just keep throwing a whole bunch of stuff in there, and the Conjuring's never going to die. It's been a really solid franchise. I think that was it for movie trailers, right? Yeah, that was everything. Yeah. As far as television goes, not much to report other than May 31st is finally here. Amazon Prime, Neil Gaiman's Good Omens is here with the Doctor, David Tennant.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Definitely going to watch that. And then June 5th, we have Black Mirror Season 4.
Yay!
All excited
Season 5.
for that. 5, you're right. It is Season 5. Indeed. I may have to go back and rewatch some of Season 4, especially the one episode with the robotic dogs, since now they're all over the news.
Everyone really didn't like that episode. I thought that episode was pretty good. I don't know.
I think they didn't like it because it didn't make sense. They broke into a warehouse.
That was like 2 seasons ago, though, I think.
No, I think it was the last season. I think it was the same
season.
I think it was the same season with the Star Trek influenced one and the Black Museum.
Oh, okay. That was all the same season.
I think that was all the same season.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think I'm going to go back and rewatch that season. It's been long enough. I can go back and look at it with fresh eyes and get ready for Season 5 debuting on June 5th on Netflix. And there's a new Metal Gear game coming out.
And E3 is going on right now, or it's starting this week, I think.
Yes.
So we'll probably have more info on that soon, too.
We should get Brian Shea back on the show to talk about that once it's done.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The new Metal Gear game, because it's involved with Guillermo del Toro as far as producing it or writing or something in there. But also that...
No, it wasn't Metal Gear. It's the Death Stranding game.
That's what it is. Sorry, you're right. There is a Metal Gear coming.
In it and Mads Mikkelsen.
Yep. So
I watched the trailer for it, or the gameplay for it, and it looks pretty cool, but like I don't know if it looks like fun as much as it looks interesting.
Right. I don't know. Oh well. With that music, that means we got to get out of here, so let's do the plugs. Gittles, what do you have?
I got Gittle-based Twitter, Instagram, Xbox Live, and the Twitch, and that's it for me. Nothing else. No takedowns coming down yet. Probably not till the fall.
Okay.
Summertime's a little slow. I might be judging the ice cream takedown because I'm not allowed to enter it because I make ice cream.
So what?
Because I work for like a professional restaurant, I think we're gonna be the judges, so I can't go there.
You can't judge it and participate.
Yeah, like
I thought it was just like, well, you make it all the time, so you're not allowed to participate in it.
No, because I made ice cream for the chocolate takedown. I won. So.
Yeah, good for you. That's it for me. It's IHeartRadio across the board on social media. More importantly, the show. It's Erik Nagel across the board on social media. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to leave a voicemail to use in future episodes, 651-SMITHERS is the phone number, 651-764-8437. And I think that does it for this week. So until the next time, everybody, be excellent to each other.
And have a wonderful time.
And we'll be seeing you.
It's Erik Nagel.
We'll keep it down. Oh, we're driving down the highway now, and we're trying to keep it down.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For ways to listen to the show, go to itseriknagel.com. And remember to tell 2 friends, so they can tell 2 friends. And those 2 friends can tell 2 friends. Well, you know what we mean.